This was my first poem I ever wrote in 5th grade when we started our poetry unit, of course. I used a lot of line breaks to try to make the feeling of the words really pop out and see what spring's really all about, because I wrote this in spring when I was on a hill overlooking beautiful scenery. So this is spring is near. The grass grows green, flowers lift to the sky, berries grow on bushes, animals wake from their slumber. Yet, best of all, people feel happy. So this poem is called Insight, and my inspiration was when I was sitting on a mountain. When we went outside for poems, and I took a couple pictures. This is where I sat. This was the view I saw, and I just thought it was such a beautiful day. And I also heard a couple birds calling, which is why you'll hear the bird calls. I used repetition to try and make it nice and rhythmy, which I also have for an inspiration, because the rhythm makes it sound very, very nice. So here it is. Okay. So here it is. A bird sings a chirp, chirp, chirp. A crow calls a caw, caw, caw. The scenery is perfect. Mountains in sight. As you sit with a loved one in sight. This is the colors of spring. My inspiration was another one. I was also sitting on a hill, the same hill I've been talking about, and it was just a very beautiful day, and I just wanted to talk about it. Everything actually happened that I'm talking about. There's a couple similes. It's a small simile, and the title is The Colors of Spring, and in the winter concert, we had the colors of winter. So this is my poem. The hill is steep, and the grass is green. Yellow bees buzz past, and the sky is blue. Fields are green, a wind blows, and the huge orange sun is covered by white, fluffy clouds. The colors of spring. So in this poem, it's called Hike, by the way, as you might see the big hike picture. Well, in this poem, I try to use line breaks just to give it a little rhythm, which is I also did rhythm to try and make it sound rhymey, so and make it nice and awesome. Yeah. And my inspiration was I was outside and I was playing football, and I noticed all these things, and it was just really cool, and I just felt so alive. Now, I'm supposed to talk about revision. So at first, I came in and wrote about my idea. So then I went to drafting, and the draft was okay. It wasn't very rhythmy. It's more like a personal narrative than anything. Then I went to revising, where I tried it out, and after I was revising, it looked like a poem, but it wasn't as rhymey as I wanted it. So at the final copy is usually like my final revision, where I changed everything. I realized that a couple words could be, you could do some things to make it sound more realistic and also rhymey. So this is my poem. Here it is. It's called Hike. One word starts it all, with just one flick of a ball. Your legs run, but you don't know where. Flashes of color everywhere. People roar out with approval, as coaches nod their heads in disapproval. Hike. This poem is called The Rocket. You'll soon see what it's about. My inspiration was actually, you have to go back to when I wrote my personal narrative about this. When I first went surface diving, which is when I got in a pool and I dove from the surface of the water. So I thought about it, and I thought I could make this into a very good poem. So I did. I also used a couple similes in this, as you might see. Okay. Here I go. Here's my poem, The Rocket. This is an ordinary to extraordinary poem. It's called The Bus. I usually take the bus every single day, and so the bus is basically very ordinary for me. So I thought, why not make an ordinary to extraordinary poem about it? There is a lot of repetition for music and rhythm to make it rhyme, make it catchy. But it also repeats to give it a little meaning, so you can understand that it is the bus. There are a lot of similes because it is an ordinary to extraordinary poem. So here it is, the bus. Bigger than an elephant, faster than a tiger running wild. Others flying past. Huts, trees, you see it all. Because I'm bigger than an elephant and faster than a tiger. This is my poem Differences, and I used line breaks not only for music to make it rhythmy and catchy, which is one of my favorite things to do with poems, but for meaning. So there's some one-word lines that make you just feel strong feelings that you can't even put a word on it. And I did use deletion a lot in this poem. At first it was different, like it was men and women, but now it's father and son. So it sounds more like differences, but not pure differences. Yes, I tried to do a lot of rhythm in this poem, like I do in most of my poems. So here it is. Father and son, mother and daughter, blind and deaf, young and old, past and present, peace and war. Yet life must go on.